Have you ever struggled with your fabric shifting out of shape while applying your fusible interfacing? If so, welcome to the club. Hi, I'm Jen from Grainline Studio, and I'm here today to teach you my little trick for keeping your fabrics from stretching and skewing out of shape while you apply fusible interfacing. Block fusing is one option, but using a home iron setup to fuse two large pieces of fabric together can be kind of a pain. Additionally, cutting and fusing smaller blocks for individual pattern pieces still wastes more fabric and fusible than I would like. What I do instead is trace the pattern piece onto a scrap of paper or muslin and use that as a template to aid in fusing. Why do I trace it off instead of just fusing on top of my pattern piece? Well, you can do that, but we all know that I like to keep my patterns as pristine as possible. I am a pattern maker and a serial repeat sewer. So here I have my pattern piece. This is the neckband for the poppy dress. Here's my muslin. I use a really stiff muslin, very stable, so it's great for this purpose. And this is just leftover piece from a poppy dress sample when we were doing pattern development that I ripped up to use again later. So I'm going to take my pattern piece, going to weight it down, and then I'm just going to trace. And I am marking the notches. It just gives me a little something to align later on. Even though I'm aligning it to the outline, I just like to make sure it's really all in the right spot. After your pattern piece is transferred to your muslin or paper, you're going to take your pattern piece and lay it out right side down because we're going to be fusing the wrong side. So I'm just going to start, and you can see how shifty this is. It's a combination of the fabric and the fact that as the neckband wraps around the neck, these areas here end up cut on the bias. So you can see like how much this can potentially shift out of shape. So I just use my fingernails, and I need to come up with a term for whatever this is that I'm doing, because I do it a lot. It's just kind of like scratching, tapping. But here you can see my notches match up, and we're ready to lay down our interfacing. So now for this, we're going to lay it glue side down. Just going to gently work around the pattern piece. And I think it needs to come a little bit this way. And remember that we cut our fusible and our pattern piece on the same grain. So the grain is running right here through the center back. So they have the same points of stretch. So there we have that. Before we head over to the iron to fuse this, I'm going to show you paper and why I prefer muslin slightly over making a template on paper. So here's my pattern piece traced onto paper, and same thing, right side down. You can just align your pattern piece, and you can already see it scooches around a little smoother than the muslin, which at this step kind of seems like a good thing, but the problem is the next step is what drives me nuts. When you go to lay your fusible down and you're trying to get it in order, it just kind of shifts around a little bit. It's not much. It's really, I'm really nitpicking here. But it does shift around a little bit, and the muslin doesn't, and I personally have enough muslin that I don't care. So I just use my extra muslin pieces. But same thing, we'll go over to the iron and fuse. So here we are at the iron, and I need to press the Fusible in the fabric so that the glue melts and it adheres. But first, I'm going to cover it with a press cloth. Make sure your interfacing doesn't scoot around because I don't want glue on my iron sole plate. So I'm just taking my iron, and I don't use steam for this. I'm just holding down with high heat and a lot of pressure. And you'll notice I wasn't moving back and forth because I don't want to shift the Fusible. Remember, we're pressing, not ironing. Uncover. And there you go. You have a beautiful neckband that is perfectly in shape. Okay, so that is my trick to easily apply interfacing to shifty pieces like this rayon poppy neckband. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Until then, bye-bye.